I have Erin Galt, so Erin the Stallion on Instagram. She, we've known each other, probably a couple of years. Might have followed each other on the gram.
Yeah, I think so.
So the whole, the gist of our conversations are normally based around thirst traps, other women calling men out on online groups, and just other banter like that, really. So basically, the topic of this podcast is we're talking about beauty standards and the impact that social media has on them. We're going to talk mostly about the beauty standards to do with women, but we're also going to talk about men as well, and I guess the expectations around that in society. Yeah, and what society expects basically from each. So I'll start with some questions for you, Erin. What do you do for work?
Currently, I work in recruitment. Just white collar recruiting,
cool,
admin people, HR.
Yep. And you enjoy it?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, I don't think it will be a long term career. Just until I fuck off.
Yeah. I suppose you'd get a lot of good administration skills and things that you can transfer over to a lot of different stuff. Yeah.
There's so many skills that I can transfer over.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so where were you raised and what kind of upbringing did you have?
Well, I was born in Dunedin, but moved here when I was like 6.
Yeah.
And single mum raised me on the Benny.
Right.
Real good upbringing though. Had stepdad from like primary school.
Yep.
Who I didn't get along with at the start, but now we're like besties.
Yeah. It's hard to get on with step parents as a teenager. I think like I struggle with that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we did not get along.
No, my dad remarried when I was like 15, and I just did not want to listen to her at all. And he kind of backed her up in a way that was like, she's going to be your mother, you know. And when you're here, and I was like, nah, she's not. No way. But I kind of understand my flaws in that argument as well. Like I know she did mean well. Cool. So what's your favourite childhood memory?
Oh, it's pretty sad actually. Like I said, mum raised me on the benefits, so like Benny Day.
Yeah. Oh, that was
it would be Benny Day.
Right,
Mum would take me to go get a Happy Meal from McDonald's, South City Mall.
Yep.
Have a wee shop, go to the warehouse. It was the best. Yeah, that was my favourite childhood memory. Was that every week?
Yeah, see, I don't think that's it. I think like you as a kid, you make whatever you can positive. You know what I mean? And if that's the highlight, that's the highlight. I mean, there's kids in Hollywood whose highlight would be getting like their first $50,000 or $60,000 car, if not more. You know, and it's like, well, you know, I've got really positive memories that were very simple things. Yeah. You know, I think, okay, so what's something that people misunderstand about you most?
Oh, that I'm a bitch. I mean, I can be, but like...
They assume that you are?
Yeah, because I look angry all the time.
Right, are you angry all the time?
Nah, like, or sometimes, a lot of the time. But, I just... Even if I'm just... squinting from the sun, I look like I'm fuming. Yeah. People yell out their cars to me like, "You look so angry."
Yeah. Oh, really?
Like, yeah.
Right.
It's the worst.
It's almost like it would be like a defensive, like for a lot of people, it would stop people interacting with you, I guess, and you'd be like,
"Oh my God, I've been told off for all of my like customer service jobs because I look angry."
Really?
I got
look less angry.
Literally, when I was a flight attendant, someone there was a passenger that wrote in about me saying, like, this flight attendant looked angry on the car the whole time, and I was like having the best time of my life. Like
that person's probably a fucking bitch.
Yeah, you know? I was like, I just look, but yeah. I mean, I get it because sometimes I catch a glimpse and I'm like, oh, right, angry bitch. But yeah, not quite the case.
Okay, no, that's good. Okay, what are your top 3 best traits
about me?
Yep. They could be things you've told or things you think about yourself.
Oh shit. It's a hard question. Feels like I'm in an interview. Best trait.
You can give me one if you want.
Okay. I think my humour is a good one.
Yep. I think you're very funny.
Thanks.
Yep.
Me too sometimes. Yeah, that's my one.
Okay, that's your one. Perfect.
Yeah,
no, that's good.
Humour.
Okay, so what's the biggest challenge you're facing in work or life right now, and how are you tackling it?
Oh, biggest challenge, I'm moving over to Aussie, so trying to sort that. And then decided to have a holiday, so that's another thing.
Yeah,
and just figuring out when to resign and all that shit. And
it's
politics and all of that.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest things, or one of the biggest changes you can go through as like a permanent change of location.
Yeah,
like there's so much to organise that you're probably not even thinking of. And as you go, they come up. You're like, oh shit, I've got to do that.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's hard. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to all that.
At least it's Australia too. It's like an easy transition. If you were moving to like the UK or the States or something, I'm sure there'd be more paperwork and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the 3 most important things you look for in a partner in order? 3 most important traits
in a partner. Humour as well.
Yeah.
I think that's probably my main one.
Would you want a similar sense of humour? Or just the ability to...
Just someone that can make me crack up. That's literally it. Because... Because they're hard to find. Yeah. So that's probably my main one is humour.
Yeah.
Chat.
Yeah.
100%. Got to have the chat.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like I'm on Love Island talking about what's your type?
Yeah.
And communication, 100%. Like nothing's worse than being ghosted.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just say it.
Just fucking say it. I'm not keen, eh? That's it. That's all you have to say.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm like, cool, all good.
People who ghost are fucking cowards, honestly.
Yeah, like dogs.
Yeah, like honestly, like it's easy to just say. I know I went on a date once with this chick, and it was early in my dating period after my last ex, the last 7-year relationship I had, and met up with her. She was a nurse at the hospital in the ICU, and she was really cool. She seemed really cool, had good chat, and I talked to her. Yeah, I just absolutely told her so much about my current situation and past, which should not have done. This is my big lesson in why not to do that.
Yeah.
And I just progressively saw the look on her face throughout the night change, and I was kind of like, I've fucked this up because I can tell. And I messaged her the next day thinking, even if this doesn't go anywhere, I want to be that guy that does give her a message and at least says to her, thanks for tonight. It was nice, And I just was expecting something back. Nothing, left on scene. But then she had the fucking nerve to message me 6 months later on my birthday and be like, happy birthday, handsome, with an X. And then I'm like,
handsome?
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I left her on scene. I'm like,
yeah, good. Ghost her back.
Serious? Like, I literally,
the energy.
We went on a date. You literally fucking ghosted me for 6 months and then wished me a happy birthday. Like that, to me, I mean, that's a red flag in itself.
Oh, yeah. No.
I don't think I missed out on anything there. But like, you know what I mean? Like, that is just coward behaviour. Just say, hey, sorry, you overshared. I'm not into you.
Yeah, like, but much for me.
Yeah, which I'm sure it was too. Like, so yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard.
No. What's one lesson your job has taught you that you think everyone should learn at some point in their life? Now, this doesn't have to be your job now. It could be one of your previous jobs that maybe had a big impact. It's got to be a life lesson in there somewhere.
There's just so many because I've just been through so much job-wise.
Yeah, right.
Probably like, don't trust your managers.
Right.
Don't trust management.
Yeah.
Like they're all out for themselves, basically. That's really negative of me.
Yeah, of course. So as in, don't trust them to have your back or your well-being at heart, or don't trust them to do their job?
Probably both. Yeah.
What are your top 3 red flags when dating?
God, there's so many. Red flags. Definitely like cancelling lots. That just pisses me off so much.
Like last minute changing plans,
or pushing it back and then cancelling, like just cancel if you know you're not vibing.
Yeah.
Like don't make plans if you're not going to keep to them. Like I get one-offs, shit happens.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm actually guilty of that, eh? I'm not all one of those guys, but like I'm definitely one of those guys that makes plans and then I'm like, oh fuck, I've got too much on today. But
like podcast.
Like, exactly.
I'm just putting digs out to you.
You might be right. Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yep.
Yeah.
Any others?
What was the question again?
Top 3 red flags.
Red flags.
Doesn't have to be 3, just a couple. It's fine.
Probably like videos of them like at a festival chewing them.
Right,
chewing their jaw off. I think that's a red flag if they've got like videos of that on their social media.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of specific examples of
Yeah, of course. I know what you mean. I've seen videos of chicks, doing nangs on the dance floor and falling into people and shit. I'm like, you actually put that as a reel?
Yeah.
Like, that's disgusting.
No, it's not.
Like,
it's not cute.
It's not, no. I mean, yeah, I'm look, do that. But,
I'm all for a nang. I'm all for a nang, but like, we don't,
But don't like actually fucking like be proud of the fact that you're all over the place.
Chuck it on your private story.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
Don't put it on your main feed.
Yeah.
And what's another red flag? Oh, probably like follows my friends.
Follows
on
them
Instagram
at all.
Follows them after because that's just
follows them
after I talk to them.
Oh yeah,
that's
a dog behaviour, right?
I've stopped tagging my friends in my stories. I've removed all my friends from my like tagged on my look through all my Instagram photos. You will not see any of my friends tagged,
right? Yeah,
unless they're male, I think.
Yeah, that's right. I go looking for those tags.
They're not fucking,
you know what I mean? Like and guys do.
They're not there now.
No, I mean just in general. Like if I'd followed a girl, say I hadn't spoken to her at all. And then she posted one of her friends who was also attractive.
Yeah.
I might be like, oh, who's that? And potentially follow them if I was on the prowl.
Yeah.
You know, and it shows you, I guess, that guy is 100% on the prowl in general.
Yeah.
And he's not just after you.
Yeah.
You know, and that is a red flag, 100%.
And I mean, recently, like I had a situation that I had a guy over. And I felt real bad because I kept cancelling on him, and I was like, shit, like that. And he was real nice every time I cancelled.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, maybe I should just have him round just to be nice.
Yeah.
Had him round, and it was the most awkward thing. He was like, I mean, this was the first red flag.
Right. Yeah.
He was like, oh, like, should we get some Uber Eats? Oh, he's like, do you want some Uber Eats? I'm hungry. I'm like, oh yeah.
You told me that
yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, like, go on.
Yeah.
And then he started scrolling and he's like, well, what are you getting? And I'm like, oh, I don't mind. And he's like, oh, here you go, and passed me my phone to make me order it myself.
Yeah.
After he asked, oh, do you want some Uber Eats? Like, yeah, you can have some, but you've got to order it for yourself.
What a fucking
But
dog.
like that, like
where's the energy and where's the like generous or caring energy in that? Like you've been invited around.
He was in my bed.
Yeah, that's right. I know that's right.
Yeah, like
where's your contribution, mate? That's what I'd be thinking.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And do you know what he ordered? He ordered probably about $100 worth of La Poquita.
Right.
And there was like a full pizza, there was a calzone, there was a whole fish meal with a side of veggies, a side of fries, and there was a salad as well.
What the fuck?
And he fucking smashed all of it. He left crumbs all through my bed, and he ate really loudly. He was eating like one food with one hand and one food with the other, and eating from each hand at a time.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it was just the loudest. I ordered pad thai, so I had a wee bowl of pad thai.
Right, yeah.
I had 2 bites, couldn't finish it, shut it, because I was just getting put off by this cunt eating real loud. Then I see him like messaging a girl like called Penny, and I'm like, oh, random. Like, why are you messaging a girl in my bed? That's random. This is after we rooted, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Which was terrible.
Yeah.
0 out of 10. But yeah, so I was just like, okay, I need this guy to leave, and he just wasn't leaving. And I've never really like had to be like, can you leave? Because usually I go to their house or something like that.
Yeah, and you can choose.
Yeah, but it was really awkward, and then he fell asleep and started snoring really loudly, and so I had to like go and like wake him up, and was like, oh, I feel really sick, like I might just do you want to go home? And he's like, oh, do you want me to go home? And I'm like, yeah. So he fucked off, and then I rang my best friend Penny.
Was he messaging her?
He was messaging my best friend Penny.
Did you ring her to check if it was her that
No.
was messaging? Or you
I didn't even click. So the night before I went out and I met a girl called Penny, I'm like, oh, I didn't know there were that many Pennies. So that when I saw he was messaging someone called Penny, I thought of like the night before where I met another Penny, and was like, oh, that's like not a popular name.
Does he know you guys are connected? Did he know? Do you think he did?
Oh, 100%. He added her off my Snapchat story. So the night before when we went out, I was with Penny.
Yeah.
And I tagged her on my Snapchat story.
Yeah.
Like, which is with a picture from the night out. And he added her from that and was messaging her, trying to get her to come over while he was in my bed. So he obviously knew that I was trying to get him to leave.
Yeah, right.
So he was messaging my best friend that he added off my story. And I didn't even notice. I rang my friend because I'm like, I need to tell you about this guy I just had in my bed, bro. Like, and I had said about how, he was like, oh, I feel real hungry. I haven't eaten all day. And she's like, hold on, like, what's his name? And I'm like, said his name. And she's like, get fucked. Like, he was just messaging me. And then I was like, well, fuck, like that's the penny that he was messaging.
He's either brave or stupid or both. Yeah. Like, even if you had clear communication that it was a full-on casual hookup, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's still disrespectful.
Oh my God.
Fuck.
Like 100%. Like, I was on my phone, but I was messaging my flatmate because I was like, how do I get him out of my bed?
Yeah.
I don't know if he thought I was messaging a guy and had decided to do it back, but like...
A lot of red flags there, eh? Like realistically, he's obviously extremely codependent, needs someone there at any one point.
Yeah.
Gross. It was real gross energy.
Oh, and so after, like, we called him out on it and he was like to me, I didn't know you were friends. And it's like, well,
who cares?
Off my story.
Really?
Yeah, like, even if that, like, you message a girl in my bed wanting to go over, like, bro, I just let you penetrate me, like, and you're fucking doing this, like, so, stoked.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It should be a lesson you learn once.
Yeah, and then when he left, we called him out and he was like to me, I didn't know your friends, and he replied to my friend Penny and was like, I'm so sorry, can we fix this? He was trying to he called her 3 times and was like, I shouldn't even be with her, all this, and it's like, you haven't even met my friend Penny.
How old is this guy?
Oh, fucking late 20s, eh?
He's treating you two like you're stupid. Like, honestly, like.
But it's really him. That's
really him. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and like it was one of the situations that you kind of laugh off, but like the whole next day I felt like shit.
Yeah, you would.
Because it's like, I've just let this guy fucking in my house for one.
Yeah.
And I fucking let him in.
Yeah. I've been in situations like that too, where I've laughed off ridiculous stuff that's happened, but it still has an effect on your self-esteem and things, because you're like, I let that happen.
Yeah.
And you're like, how the fuck did I let that happen? And I think that's actually part of the process of like learning from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're like,
learn to listen.
Yeah.
And that's, don't let someone smash just because you feel bad that you cancelled on them 100 times.
But it might have worked out differently with some people, you know what I mean? Like, you could still let that happen in a situation. I'm not encouraging you letting that happen, but like, do you know what I mean? Like I feel like if you feel those negative emotions in that situation, it's like your subconscious is saying, don't even do that again.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
So, as I said before, the topic is unraveling beauty standards. We're talking about the impact of social media. We'll talk about men and women, but the focus is mostly on women. So how do you feel social media has influenced beauty standards for men and women?
Well, it's a lot more available visually, like it's everywhere you see.
Yeah.
So, like you've got the Kardashians everywhere. Girls aim to be like them, basically.
Yep. Anyone can be an influencer as well, eh? Like, you know, and I guess it's unrealistic beauty standards, a lot of it. You know, the stuff that we see out of the Gold Coast and, you know, even parts of the States and the UK and things, is what might come out of the UK would be completely different to what comes out of the States, would be completely different what comes out of Australia, but a lot of it's so fucking doctored. And a lot of these people are so image obsessed that they're unhealthy, like mentally unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the beauty standards for men, if you call it beauty, I guess like there's a lot of there's a lot of pressure for men as well, because there's a lot of jack dudes.
Oh yeah,
especially in Australia, and that filters down to New Zealand, and we don't really have the same beach culture, and we don't have the money. A lot of these guys have really good genes. Yeah, so like, you know, they come from good families, perfect teeth. Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah.
And social media just absolutely pushes that, and it's so part of our culture now that we live in that world. We actually live in it whether we want to or not.
Yeah.
And I think if you're on social media, you're always going to have it force fed to you. Okay, cool. So in your opinion, how can social media be both empowering and harmful when it comes to body image and beauty ideals?
I think empowering because there's a lot more information out there now. Just even, for example, like BMIs, like, you know, a few years ago, BMI was like, you know, the standard.
Yep.
But of it, like me personally, I've learnt through social media about it that, you know, that's not always.
No.
You know,
I'm overweight on a BMI, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? I still feel skinny. Like, to me, because I came from very skinny, and I was obviously underweight then.
Right.
But my ideal weight should be 85, and I'm like 94 or 95, and I'm like, I don't even feel heavy enough for my height.
Yeah.
So BMI is a fucking crock of shit, really. It shouldn't be what you base anything on.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, definitely not. But, yeah, you see that.
Yep.
Things like that. And people post a lot of information. I follow a lot of body positive accounts that kind of post. I don't really follow, like, the everyone's beautiful and, you know, the ones that purposely bend over to try and make themselves look fat so they're relatable. Like, follow more, like, people that is like BMI, you know, and actually have facts and information. As opposed to, I mean, inspirational content is good too, but I like to have a bit of facts.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because realistically, the facts is what people aren't getting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're seeing all the stuff behind nothing and you're like, well, I don't actually know how heavy that girl really is. I don't know how tall she is. I don't know whether she's posing in a way that makes her look that way. There's all these things. And it's
which is 90% of the time.
Yeah.
99% probably of the time.
I know. Imagine if all these girls had their BMI and a little number up on the right, you know, you'd be like, oh, right, wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
You know, and you'd feel better. You might feel better because you're like, fuck, I was thinking about mine all day, you know. And when I see someone like that, I think to myself, oh, there's no way she would be anything like me. But it's like, actually, she could be really close, you know. Yeah. It's like, same thing with dudes. There's a lot of guys that you see on socials that you're like, fuck, he is in good shape. And you realise he's like 5'3".
Oh, yeah.
How could it be harmful when it comes to body image and beauty ideals?
Editing as well.
Yeah.
So much. Everyone fucking edits.
That's right.
Edited. Everyone edits.
I know, same. I've a couple of the thirst traps I've posted on Instagram, I've edited out all my moles and freckles.
Oh, yeah, fair.
You know, like, and it's just like...
Cellulite, see ya.
Yeah. And you can smooth that stuff out so easily. I've stopped short of stretching anything, though. Yeah, like, you know, because you could... Everything's actually the right thing. But I'm like, obviously angles make a difference, but in lighting and everything like that. But, you know, some people actually, it's so funny seeing people who don't know what they're doing and they pinch. And your bendy walls and beds and things like that. Yeah. No, that's definitely... If you're looking at people who, you know, a girl who looks like she's had a BBL, or she's got this tight, tiny little waist and this massive ass, it's like if she's pinched that and stretched it on an app, or if her eyes are really bright and they're not actually that bright, things like that, you would feel bad about yourself because you'd be like, fuck, I don't look like that. I wish I did. I wish I had those genes. And it's like, actually, she doesn't even have those genes, you know?
Yeah. Especially when you're scrolling as well, like it's all you fucking see is these edited bodies or BBLs, surgeries, and so you see it a lot more as well. So, yeah. No,
that's definitely... It's
a lot more exposed.
Yeah, very clear risk of harm with all that stuff. Okay, how do you believe that beauty standards have changed over the years with the rise of social media platforms? Before social media was around versus now, do you think beauty standards would have changed?
Oh, yeah. I reckon, I'm saying it again, but I'm bringing it back to the Kardashians. I reckon they changed everything.
Yeah, that was back, they started on like E. It was like on the E channel and it was on Sky. I remember that.
Yeah, it was on E, yeah. Keeping Up with Kardashians.
Yeah, because you look at like Kim Kardashian and that back when they first came on TV, they're so different.
So different.
And they've kind of gone through that evolution with society's beauty standards,
Yeah, even I think Kim's had her BBL removed.
Has she?
Yeah.
Because it's not cool now.
And it's like, fuck, like, now that I've got a big ass, like, now what?
What do you do? Like, how far does it go? And I guess you get to a certain age where it starts getting... There'd be a certain point where it's like, actually, that's not what's attractive at that age anymore. Or there'd be like... I know, because at each age you'd be looked at for different things. I mean, it's hard with a woman because I think the older you get, the harder society is on you, you know. And I've been learning that through a relationship audiobook I've been listening to. They're talking about, like, you know, what men typically value is youth and beauty in women, you know. And it's like as you get older, you're fucked on both accounts, you know what I mean? Like you're maintaining your youth and your beauty if that's what, you know, you're worried about. I mean, there's a lot of men out there who aren't that superficial.
Yeah.
And, I mean, even gay men are like that. They like youthful, beautiful men. You know, it's such a strong thing.
Yeah.
But then it's like, at different ages, what do you do? What is it that you're going to focus on? It's like, I guess in your 30s, being beautiful in your 30s is going to be different to being beautiful in your 40s and 50s and 60s. But if you're trying to look 20 in your 50s, it will show.
Yeah,
it's
probably going to be me in my 50s.
Is it?
Yeah. Wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah. Is that what the saying is? No,
it's mutton dressed as
That's
lamb.
the one?
Yeah. I know. I'm hoping that I'll be a silver fox, but you just never know. You might get to a certain age and then just go like downhill.
Nah, I feel like most guys, they're all good.
Are they?
They age pretty well.
I know some
But I think that's because I like an older guy. So.
Yeah. I know some people my age that honestly look 50, but I just hope that I'm never dressing younger than I look. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what that is. Like, if I was to turn up dressed...
I think guys can wear anything, honestly.
Do you reckon?
What couldn't you wear as an adult, as a guy?
If I turned up at the gym looking like every other 16-year-old boy in there with my hair, like, fluffed up out the front and, like, you know, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's dress standards. Like, for example, I never see young girls in town in heels now. You know what they're wearing?
Sneakers.
Sneakers. Yeah. That was never That was never a fucking thing.
I love it though.
I know, how good. But how good to be a woman these days. Do you know if you...
how good to be a woman these days?
Well, I'm just saying, if you were 18 when I was 18, it was heels. You wouldn't even get into a club in sneakers. Like, no woman would wear them.
Some still don't let you in if they're white sneakers, yeah.
But it's so mainstream now that, like, you'd have to.
Yeah.
You would have
Gen
to.
Z.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It actually is.
Yeah. We're comfy.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. Yeah. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And it's actually like, I see young girls in sneakers now, they pull it off. Like, they do.
Even some of the airlines, you can wear sneakers now.
Yeah, really? Oh, really?
Yeah. Like my friend, he's just started flying over at Bonza over in Australia. And
yeah, right.
They've got like uniform sneakers.
Right.
And they look mad comfs.
I would not want to be on a plane in heels.
It's shit.
I bet it is.
Especially if it's a big day.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like if you're going fucking... Oh, what was my biggest? My biggest days were probably like either the Rarotonga flights or the
What's Rarotonga, like 8 hours?
I can't remember the flight time, but it just was like overnight. It was like a red eye, so it felt even longer. Yeah, and it was really dead because everyone was sleeping, so it just felt like the longest flight.
Do you get to sit down?
Oh yeah, I made sure. Oh yeah, I was always sitting down when I could.
Do you think social media has led to a more accepting and diverse representation of beauty in mainstream media, or has it reinforced certain stereotypes?
I think in some media, like with movies and stuff, like you see a lot more diversity. But I think with like, I've mentioned it in this already, but Love Island, like reality shows, like you don't see any diversity really.
No,
like sort of the same skinny people, and when they get called out about like Love Island, they got called out about it, and they're like, well, we want the people to be attracted to each other.
Yeah, and
it's like, oh right, so no one can be attracted to like a curvier body.
I see.
You know.
Yeah, but it's I reckon that's more about their ability to manipulate people.
Yeah.
So if they put someone in there who's going to be overall less desirable, but like statistically, that person might actually get singled out and easily eliminated, or there's all sorts of things there where they want it to be like they want them all to be attracted to each other, so it causes chaos.
I mean, they had this girl on a few seasons ago who was like a bigger girl, but like not big, but she definitely had some actual meat on her bones. And she was just the most entertaining of the whole season. And she. Oh, there were heaps of guys fighting over her. You know, like,
I would be. I mean, like, but I prefer a bigger girl than a skinny girl. Like, skinny girls do nothing for me.
Right.
I think it must have been. It would have been maybe like probably 5 seasons ago. There was a chick who came on, and she was the first girl to come in to stir shit up, and she was quite tall, and she was thick. You know what I mean? Like she was, I can't remember her name.
Are we talking about the same chick?
We might be. That's what I'm wondering. So she was like the one to stir shit up. She just came on unannounced, and all the boys were like, what the fuck? But she turned out to be really nice. And she got with the hotter dude on there as well. And they stayed solid all the way through. I'm pretty sure.
Was it
she
Dom?
Was brunette. I think it was
Dom and Jess.
I think it was
and
Jess.
They're married now with kids.
Yes, they were solid as. Like from the start.
But he was first with Montana first.
Yeah, like a blonde chick maybe? Or
she was dark.
Was she dark as well?
She was maybe Asian, but you got a good memory. Dark. I love my Love Island.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I do remember.
Right.
No, because I think they've just had another baby, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was because Dom was quite a good looking dude, real dark features.
Beautiful man,
tan, yeah.
Big teeth.
Yeah. I remember. It was definitely, so we were talking about the same girl.
No,
different one.
I think maybe same season. I can't remember her name. She has a twin.
Right.
She was very curvy. She was curvier than Jess.
Right. So Jess might not have been that curvy, but to me she was bigger than the other girls. Was she?
She was definitely curvier than the other girls. But this one was big.
Right.
Curvier.
Yeah, right.
Bigger booty.
Yep. There's a lot of shit that social media's done. Like you see the way the population swings and riots happen and shit. That Black Lives Matter, for example, shit like that happens because people communicate faster now.
Yeah.
And stuff is out there. And if you try and post something that's superficial and you got a bullshit opinion, you get called out for it real fast. All the good people have a voice on social media. That's what I like. They don't fucking take any shit.
Yeah.
And it's real easy to call out unhealthy behaviour because the people with the unhealthy behaviour, they put their backs to the wall, but they're fucked, really.
Yeah.
Like, you can't justify unhealthy behaviour.
No.
So how has your own journey with body image and self-acceptance evolved with an increase in online visibility?
Well, it's definitely still an ongoing journey.
Yep.
Up and down. I'm a lot more careful with what I post.
Yeah.
Picture wise as well. Like I'll definitely look at a picture more in depth because I've got like a few more followers than I did like a year ago.
Yeah, right.
Not that I've got heaps, but like.
Has it changed? So like if you go a year ago versus a year before that and a year before that, were you posting different types of material?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. I was posting way more back then.
Yep.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it just. Maybe it's getting older as well that I don't post as much.
yeah, because you don't know what it could be. It's just like so much happens that influences what you feel like doing at any one time.
Yeah, true.
As my followers have gone up, I'm more careful, I guess, about what I post.
Yeah.
And I also I'm aware of like certain things when I post them, I lose followers, and I'm like, for example, like, when I used to post more thirst traps, I don't so much anymore, but like when I used to, I would lose like my friends' partners. And like, you know what I mean? And people, and they're good people. They're just like, I don't want to see that. And I shouldn't be seeing that because I've got a partner and I don't, that's not what I sign up for when I follow Josh.
Yeah. And I think that's probably why my followers went down as well. Now ex's friends.
Right. Yeah. And dudes as well, dudes don't want to see that. Like if I'm doing it, if it's real thirsty, sorry. Yeah. Some dudes, actually, I know there's plenty of dudes that actually have asked me for that. But like, you know what I mean? It's, I used to be more, I guess, critical of that kind of stuff, but I'm a firm believer in your vibe attracts your tribe. So I'm kind of like, this is me.
Yeah.
I just stopped. I'm more critical of what I post.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the most damaging beauty myths you've come across online, and how would you debunk them for the people that follow you?
Beauty myths.
Yeah. So what are some things you can think of that people are doing or people believe that you think are harmful?
I think that if someone's the people believe that if someone's overweight, they're unhealthy.
Yeah.
Because it's not the case.
Right.
I mean, me personally, I'm on a bit of a weight loss journey currently. 16 kgs down.
That's huge.
It's pretty big.
Big achievement.
Thank you. I'm going through a health journey, and I just don't have any health issues. Like, my doctor just says I'm amazing. Like, the only thing is the number on the scales.
Yeah, really. Of course. Yeah. I can tell you're healthy. Like, you can see in someone's eyes normally, like the whites of their eyes, how healthy they are.
Yeah.
And people, I generally don't look very healthy. Like, whites of my eyes are not, but I hope I am. Yeah. I'm assuming I am. But you look healthy, to me. Yeah.
Well, I'm feeling it now. Yeah. I mean, because I had long COVID at the end of last year, which is what got me to start this health weight loss journey.
Yeah.
And I just felt like death for months. Like, I was vomiting every single day, multiple times.
Wow.
For probably 3 months.
Yeah. That might have kickstarted a bit of weight loss.
Yeah, I'd counted it from after that.
Right. Oh, that's good.
So there's probably more overall.
Yeah,
I counted from when I went to the doctor, because I went to the doctors to talk about my long COVID and what the fuck to fix.
Yeah.
And they weighed me then.
Right.
And then, so that's like the number that I started.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Normally when you're vomiting like that, it's not healthy weight loss anyway, because you're going to rebound. There's going to be that period where your body's like, I'm going to take everything I can.
Yeah. And I'm eating very well now. I'm not putting on weight. I'm still losing weight.
Right. Good. Yep. So it shows you're on that right track. You know, that the amount going in is actually balancing what's coming out. Yeah.
No, definitely worth it.
Cool.
But a lot of people just think, fat body type, unhealthy, but it's not always the case.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, I think that's my answer.
Yep. Yeah, I think genetically some people are more prone to storing weight or losing it. I'm genetically prone to being very skinny, and if I didn't train and I let my body eat what it wanted to, because I force feed myself. Right. If my body just ate what it wanted to, I would be skinny and probably look unhealthy. Right. But I wouldn't be. Yeah. It's probably and what I noticed is my resting heart rate's reasonably high. Right. And I am reasonably fit, but I'm carrying probably more muscle, more weight than my body would want to. So it's harder work for my body to maintain. Right. So I would be considered unhealthy in that regard. And it's like, I guess, do you know what I mean?
Proving my point.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So my heart rate's up, my blood pressure's up because I'm carrying more weight than I should be for my frame. Right. Like, even I have pressure on my nerves. Like, when I'm sleeping, I'll wake up and those three fingers will be numb on both sides, just on certain angles. If I lie on my back, my hands go numb. And I think it's just because I have to be lying there for a long time. Yeah. But I think it's just because my frame is not meant to be like this.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Just too muscly.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you saw where I came from, honestly, I was just a fucking rake.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. So, yeah, I think what you see is not always a reflection of health.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I agree with that. Have you personally experienced any challenges or negative behaviour directed at you from any online content?
Negative behaviour? Oh, probably like going back to the Sunkissed Tan drama.
Oh, yes.
Like, probably that. Like, oh my God, when I first started posting about that, I don't know, should I give a bit of background?
Yeah, give a bit of background. So that was great. I was there for most of that. It was so cool. I think what you were doing was good. I think he deserved it.
Oh, he deserves a lot worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, I'll try to round it up quick. But there was a tanning salon.
Let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that basically, I think it all started because a friend from head office there told me that because they had selected me to model for them for their next photo shoot, and so my friend, I had quite a few friends in the head office kind of area. And
so this is a Christchurch tanning salon.
Yeah.
They're based in Christchurch.
Yeah, there were there were locations around the South Island, I think.
Right.
So there was one in Nelson and shit as well.
He started one and he had this notorious reputation for basically hiring girls or asking girls if they wanted to model for him. He would
very young girls.
Very young girls. I knew a girl years ago, probably 2016, who did it. And, she even says to me to this day, she's like, he's still got those photos of me on his phone.
He's got naked photos of
half of Christchurch.
Yeah. 100.
I know. Yeah.
He's disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just from posting about everything, I've had a million people message their stories through, and like I half the stuff I post, I probably had 10 times the content to post, but I just wouldn't because
it's just the tip of the iceberg.
A lot of it was very, very private kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all started because so I was going to model for them, but and they were getting the email to send to me to tell me that that they've chosen me to model, and he saw a photo of me and was like, oh, she's a bit big for our brand.
Right.
And so they didn't tell me about modelling at all. And then a while later, I was out with a couple friends and she told me that that's why. And I was like, interesting. And then the next day he posted a photo of the photo shoot, and I think I made a really nice comment.
I think I've seen that.
It was like, hey, it'd be really nice to see some more diverse bodies in the
and you knew at this point what he'd said.
And that's why I commented, because I'm because I couldn't roast him because I had friends that still worked there.
Of course, and you don't want to rush into a roast either. You want to kind of
and I mean, I did kind of rush into the roast. Yeah. But I didn't mean for it to be so big.
Yeah.
But I think just because it was such a big company and Christchurch was so small, everyone just latched on. And everyone had their own stories about him.
Well, when shit sticks to people, there's a reason. with people like him, it's 100%. Like he's been fucking people over, for a long time.
Even
obviously.
Before he was in the tanning business, he worked in he was like a wrestler manager or something. He managed wrestlers. And there's videos of him online, yelling and swearing, threatening that he's going to beat these guys up because of money and all this stuff, and it's
I've heard a lot of stories about him.
He's just cracked. And they commented, they responded to my comment on the Instagram they deleted it at first, and I commented, I'm like, hey, my comment was quite nice, just want to know why it was deleted, and they were like, oh, it's a pathetic attempt at
grandstanding.
Yeah, that's the one.
I saw that.
Oh, good memory. It stuck to me as well.
No, I honestly,
I had to Google what grandstanding means.
Any bullying, antisocial shit, I just retain it because I'm like, you fucking piece of shit.
And he denied. So he denied that it was him. He tried to put it on one of the girls that worked there. And then it just ended up with this big social media roast.
Shitstorm, mate. Like, you were the centre of it.
I was the centre of it, and I don't know why. I think I just had a bit of beef and posting about it, and everyone
saw you as like a channel, an outlet to get it out there, and you were basically deciding what to share and what not to.
Yeah.
But you were quite safe with it. Like, you were very careful about who, and then when shit got out of control, you brought it back, and like it was managed well. I think.
I still got so much hate.
Oh, you did?
Like,
really?
From girls.
Really?
Oh, I had girls saying like, what if Matt kills himself? What if he does this? Like, I'm like,
if Matt's got to fucking manage the scenario.
Yeah, right.
Like,
and he's called out of mental health.
That's right.
If you're threatening that.
Yeah, like it's not a sustainable way to run a business if you're, excluding people based on that, being open about that fact. Like, sure, if he wanted to do that, keep it fucking tidy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, don't let the person know in any form. Don't even tell people around you. If you want to run a business like that, I mean, realistically, he gets to choose whether he wants to be diverse or include people of different weights and things. But realistically, he did so much damage, so much fucking damage just from one statement. Yeah, I know.
And all he could have said, like, he could have avoided all of this if he just replied, "Thank you so much for your feedback. We'll take it into account next time we do a shoot."
Yeah.
And it was real funny because like a few weeks later after all that, they posted a picture and they were advertising for diverse models. And they stole a picture off Google Images.
I know a better option would have been. A better option would have been to just take photos of you, and he would have made more sales. Like
he would not have let.
Do you know what I mean? Like before that, I mean at the very start, if he'd done it, he would have had. There would have been so many women who follow you that would have been like, "I'm in," like because I feel accepted and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you handle online trolls or negative comments around appearance or personality? And what advice do you have for others dealing with similar challenges?
It's kind of hard because like I actually haven't really received anything bad in a while.
Even those people in that last one, like if you were to get hate in that kind of situation, because I was really, when I did these podcasts, for example, I was really preparing myself. Like my reputation wasn't great.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't great based on a lot of things. A lot of them weren't factual.
Right.
Like I had a reputation as a criminal. I had a reputation as a womanizer. My criminal behavior was mostly financial and drug related. So I was like,
could be worse.
Selling steroids and things. Yeah, I'm not a rapist. I'm not a these kind of things, and you get fucking hammered for that.
Yeah.
But I'm also, my I guess this womanizing behavior was that I wasn't always loyal in relationships, and I was I was seeking validation a lot for like my ego. I was, I was feeling broken. I feel like my needs weren't being met in my relationship, so I was just looking for those needs to be met elsewhere, basically. And I was too scared and too much of a coward to leave the situation because I was codependent as fuck.
Yeah.
And that gives you a really bad reputation over a long period of time. People like stay away from that cunt because he just fucks with girls' heads, basically.
You end up on those fucking Facebook
You do,
pages.
yeah. And so I understand why I did, because there's so many people out there who'll be like, he will not change. He hasn't changed.
Yeah.
There'll be someone he's fucking over, basically.
Yeah.
And so when I did this podcast, I was like, I'm waiting for it. It's going to happen. I'm going to get a lot of hate.
Yeah.
And I didn't get as much as I thought I would. I got a few from anonymous pages, nothing really though. And like they might still be coming. I don't know. But I'm just saying like, how would you deal with hate online when you get it or if you get it?
I'm a big blocker,
Oh yeah?
Straight away. I don't even engage unless sometimes I like to bully them back.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon, see, because you're not stupid, and I think you could school people.
I do. Yeah. I definitely do. I think if they're like that mean to me, I'll just block them.
Yeah.
But like if they're just being an asshole, then I'll bully them back.
Yeah.
Like, well, not bully, but I'll be mean to them back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a massive blocker. I try not to focus on that shit. I just block and then move on.
Yep.
Easier said than done.
It is.
Takes a lot of practice.
I'm not. I've never been a blocker.
Yeah.
Like even when I've had ex-girlfriends be like, you need to block this girl. I'm like, I don't want to block anyone because I'd rather keep an avenue of communication open and actually just, I didn't used to be upfront, but I'd just rather actually set boundaries.
Nice.
You know what I mean? But I guess what I've realised, especially I was going through my garage and I dug up old letters and memories that were quite harmful stuff. And I didn't realise how much that actually affected me for the rest of the day and the next day and the next day.
Yeah.
And I think even if you don't block someone, you might have the thickest skin, honestly. But they say things.
Yeah.
If it even just touches a bit of an insecurity, you're living that for the next couple of days. And I do. I've had people that have said shit and that I'm just, even those pages, when they come up, as much as when people post me on those groups, like as much as I fucking little bit of me thrives on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just going to front foot this and I'm just going to use it.
Yeah.
There's a bit of me that's like, fuck, there's still people talking negatively about me. You know, shit. It sucks.
Yeah,
and, you know, it is hard to process. I think blocking is actually a very healthy way to deal with it. And some people are dedicated. They'll they'll message you again. Those NGL pages are toxic.
It's literally Ask Your Femme again.
Yeah, and I was too old for that when it came out.
Oh, see, I was in the
thick of high. Was it high school for you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ask Your Femme was like
that was where I got a lot of hate.
Was it?
A lot of fucking.
So how did you deal with that? It's hard to deal with it because it's anonymous.
God, I did not deal with it. I cried myself to sleep every night. Gave me like mental illness, but we're still kicking.
Yeah. So what was Ask Your Femme? It was like that NGL thing.
Oh yeah, basically, but it would be on your feed. So like you'd have an Ask Your Femme feed. So it wasn't.
People could see what people were saying.
So you could send a but you could send like off an account. So it was all on the one thing. So with NGL, it's like you share it onto your Instagram. You choose
whether it goes on your story. Yes. You can read them, but no one else can.
Yeah. So that's the same with Ask Your Femme. Like you can only read them if you get sent them, but you have like a feed. So you follow people on Ask Your Femme and then you see what they get asked and you can ask them. But it was just hate. And like high school drama. A lot of like homophobia on there as well.
Really?
I went to all girls school, so a lot of lesbians.
It'd be a melting pot of that kind of stuff.
God, it was like there were just some fucking bitches.
Yeah, there would be.
And those bitches that were homophobic back then, I've seen them on fucking Tinder.
Yeah.
I'm a bisexual woman. Like they come up on my Tinder.
Oh, true.
And it's like you bitches were the ones that were calling out all the lesbians in school and making fun of them. And
so were you bisexual then as well?
I was, but I wasn't out.
Right, okay.
Like I was out to the bisexual people.
Yeah, of course. and I guess word gets around in those situations.
But like I haven't hidden it. Like if someone's ever like asked or if it comes up in convo, like I've never hidden it. Like so I'll let someone go for a swipe on my Tinder and they'll be like, oh, there's girls on here. I'm like,
yeah. It's. I think it's very normal these days.
Yeah, I don't feel like it needs. I mean, me personally, I didn't feel like I needed to come out or anything. Like I just do what I want. Like You don't have to prove anything, do you? No, I wouldn't even like call myself a label. Like I just do what I fucking want.
Yeah, that's right. You know? Yeah, fair enough. I think it's how most people should be. It's a better way to be.
Yeah.
I think an all girls school would create this hyper competitive environment, which is weird considering that like you'd think they'd compete if there was men there, but I think men would be a distraction from all the cattiness. Like you'd think, and I don't know because I feel like
it's just a whole different kind of catty.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, and I guess they're looking for any way to bring you down that they can.
Yeah,
to make themselves feel better. Basically, like you're an outcast. You're not part of the main group.
Yeah,
and that makes you less than us.
And it was just like I just remember things in high school like girls cropping you out of photos if you have an argument, posting it, and it's like.
Yeah, fuck. It's not getting any better. Like I've got a friend. She told me she's counselling in this school, 13-year-olds, and she said a group of girls followed this other girl home and broke into her house and took baby photos of her, took photos of them, and then posted them online. Like broke into her house to get those photos to post them online. And it's. I think there's some pretty nasty shit happening still.
And it's just going to probably get worse with social media.
Yeah, and you create an app like that, right? And even though it's used for negative reasons and it's bullying, it gets so much use. And so it's so popular that they make money off it. And they'll just continue to make things like that,
Yeah. Good.
Do you think men are equally body shamed online?
I think they're definitely body shamed. I don't know if it would be do you mean like quantity equal or like?
I guess like, do you think men get it as much as women? Because I don't think they do.
No, I don't think it's equal. Because from my personal experience, majority of any body shaming comments or rude comments come from men.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't really come from women.
Yeah, I guess statistically, too, more women post their bodies online.
That too.
They would, and more. I guess, and I'm making assumptions here. I haven't looked this up.
Yeah.
But I would assume that, women are putting their body out there more and they're putting themselves at risk of being body shamed, I guess, whereas men aren't necessarily doing that. And it's not like if old Steve from Kaiapoi posted a photo at a family barbecue, you're not going to be like, fucking tuck your gut away, Steve, something like that. Exactly. It just doesn't happen because Steve didn't even know that that's what was going to happen,
And it's becoming like a thing. Like, you know, girls love a dad bod these days.
Yeah, that's right, they do.
But no one loves a woman, like a mum bod.
I know,
like, it's so like, yeah. So
there was a period of my life where I was very against the dad bod, or against normalising it, I guess. And I think it was a bit of a shallow outlook, only because I didn't want to glorify or normalise what I considered at that time to be unhealthy. And it was only because I thought often dad bods were heavy beer drinkers, and it was all the weight carried in one place. It wasn't like it was a genetic thing. It wasn't like it was a choice of lifestyle. Yeah. And I was kind of like, it felt like it was anyway. I can't, and this is the thing, I can't blanket the dad bod as an unhealthy thing, because it's not. It's just basically a guy who doesn't generally work out or doesn't have a high focus on tailoring himself physically in any way, or these kind of things.
Seem to carry their weight in the front more than
they do.
Rest of their body.
Yeah. So genetically, I think women are more prone to carrying weight. The first place I put it on is around their hips and ass and legs, and whereas men will put it first on the
fucking come off. Wow.
I know. Like I never store fat because I'm so skinny genetically. Like I just don't. It's a blessing and a curse, because if I get sick, I'll lose 10 kilos. And it's like, and then it's so hard for me to put that back on. And I feel like I get self-conscious because I'm like, all my clothes are fitting loose where they shouldn't be. And I'm just like, I worked so fucking hard for this and it's gone, but I can eat what I want at the same time, which also means that I don't know how much damage I'm doing to myself internally. Like, I might not actually be that healthy on the inside. I do have a lot of sugar, these kind of things. And it doesn't, but I think men will store fat. Men will store fat in their gut first, I think, and then from there it would go to their ass or their legs or whatever, and it's just there's different patterns. But I don't think there's anything inherently unhealthy with a dad bod. But I don't think men do get body shamed anywhere near as much as women. I think a lot of men body shame women.
Yeah.
Not
if men are body shamed, it's usually on their height, I think.
Yeah.
That's what
and that sucks. Those poor guys.
Yeah, that's right. Because you can't fucking get a...
No.
I think you can get like knee lengthening surgery, but that looks a bit...
I know.
Looks a bit rough.
I know, I feel for a short man.
Yeah, like, at least I can get some lipo. But, oh, mate.
Yeah, you better be able to make up for it in other ways. Yeah. Really, you've got to be... As a male, if you're short, you've got to be funny, or you've got to be really, caring. But if you try and be a dominant alpha short male, it's really hard because
sounds like Matt Doherty.
Do you know what I mean?
You turn out like SK2.
Well, you look like it looks like small man syndrome.
Oh yeah,
and that's why you can't be an aggressive short man.
No,
you've got to be an assertive short man, and you'll be respected.
Yeah,
it's like okay, he's a bit cute, but he's got a point.
Yeah.
But I guess I've been 6'1" since I was 17. And so I didn't really know what it was like to be short, and then I see a guy who's like 6'5", and I'm like, fuck, and then I feel it. You know what I mean?
It was 6'10" the other fucking.
Did you?
6'10".
Yeah, well, my first ex left me for a guy who was 6'9", and he was ducking to get under doors like that.
This guy had his head walking up. Yes,
I actually feel for guys like that. I think a good range is somewhere between 6 to 6'4". Is kind of good, I think.
I like it.
Do you like a 6'9"?
I can through the door, thank you.
Can you carry me?
Yeah, carry me up the stairs, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's you're an ox at that point. That's huge. That's a big boy. Okay, so how do you believe influencers and online personalities can promote body positivity and inclusivity on social media?
I think like just being transparent.
Yeah. Like the whole BMI thing we were saying.
Yeah, and even like before I mentioned about, these influencers that try to be, skinny influencers that try to be body positive, and they'll post a picture of them bending over, or grabbing their skin, trying to make themselves look fat so they can be like, all angle, different angles.
Yeah, like this is me on a bed. This is me looking how I actually look.
But it's like you're purposely bending over to try and make yourself look bigger, to try and be relatable, but we don't need to bend over to look bigger. This is just us. So that kind of content probably isn't right for your feed.
Yeah. I think there'd probably be some people out there too, it'd be quite common that they would do that but still edit their photos or make sure that photo did look good. I would hate to post a really bad photo of myself, on the wrong angle, looking horrible,
Yeah, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't. No. You'd take a good bad photo, you're not seeing these people at their actual worst either.
Any of my photos, like even if I post a picture and no makeup, I'm like swipe to get that first filter across.
Yeah, of course. I know.
Smooth everything out. Like everyone does it.
I know. It's so hard now after seeing yourself filtered. You're like, I don't want to go back to and the cameras are so good. So you're like, I can see like every flaw.
Just keep that on 24/7.
Yeah, I know. If I do Zoom meetings and things, I'm like, I just want to filter it, but I don't bother. Yeah.
Zoom is the worst though, because it shows every single.
Oh, it would. Yeah. And often the webcam, like the lighting in there is not great. Yeah. What role does self-confidence play in challenging conventional beauty norms online?
Oh, like I think if you see, like with the SKT thing, like having the confidence, I guess, to comment and call it out and
it has to be done.
Suggest it, but there's ways, to suggest it that you're not like, where's the fatties? Like, where's the diversity? Like, there's a respectful way to go about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and just be expected to not get the answer you thought you would get.
Yeah, of course. I think, it'd be suicide for a business to basically come back on that in a negative way, and you've seen it. Yeah.
Even though I get blamed for shutting it down, but I mean, I'll take it. I'll claim that title.
I know. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. You're the SKT queen. No, I've got a friend who's just started a swimwear business, and she is all about making sure that kind of stuff's in there, and because she knows, and it's.
But it's like it's not hard.
And it's life, and your sales will go up. Like really, they will. Like it's not you're not just appealing to all these Victoria's Secret models. It's like that's actually not your core business. No. Your core business is the whole population, and the whole population is so diverse.
It's easier to find a normal person than to go to an agency and find a model.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so much easier. Just find your mates.
Yeah, that's right.
You could probably save money if you know on regular people.
Yeah. And it will actually gel with the consumer because they'll be like, that looks more like me.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Like, I want to know what something looks on, because, like, you can do all that. You can add plus size to your range, but if you've only got the clothes on a skinny model, it's hard to see what it's actually going to look like when it arrives.
You need to see them on a plus size model. But I'd want to see them on all types of people, different body shapes, everything.
100%. And, like, if you see, like, when... was it at Nike or Adidas, they brought out a mannequin that was not even fat, like it was just a bit curvier, and there was a massive uproar about an activewear brand promoting unhealthy body types. And it's like, well, fat people need to work out too.
Yeah, that's right. They've got to start somewhere. That's the whole point. Yeah, that's right.
Fat people should be the target audience.
Yeah, they should. Yep.
Right? Yep. So I don't see why seeing a fat person run is a bad thing. Isn't that what you want? Like if you're sitting there thinking negative things about people who are overweight, shouldn't you be wanting them to go and get active wear to work out? And
that's absolutely right. It's
just a lose.
Yeah, I think realistically too, a lot of people that are overweight would be in a situation where they, and I say overweight, I just mean like people who are carrying more weight.
Thickies.
Yeah, they're not necessarily overweight. Like carrying more weight, they are probably quite motivated to work out and quite conscious of their appearance and want to make sure they look as good as possible.
Oh, yeah.
And so that comes with a business actually caring about creating products for these people so that they can feel good about themselves on their journey. Yeah. It's like, that's all really important.
Body size.
Absolutely, yeah.
So why would you not have different size mannequins if there's different size clothing?
And sometimes it's not even a lifestyle thing. Sometimes it's a cultural thing. Sometimes if you went to Brazil, you'd find completely different people to if you went to Sweden or, these different parts of the world, and you couldn't actually probably start selling Brazilian sizes in Sweden because it wouldn't work. Like, you know what I mean? Like you'd have two.
Like going to Japan.
Yeah,
When I went to Japan, it was like in high school, and I was skinny then. I was probably a size 12.
Right.
And I struggled to fit into anything in Japan.
Really? Because they're all little?
Size 12. Yeah, that was too small. Like the clothes were just, like the biggest size I could find was like a size 10.
Wow.
And like size 12 is like the normal size in New Zealand for female around this age is 14 to 16.
Right.
Like that's the average in New Zealand. So
really?
Going to So you couldn't come from probably America or
no.
you know.
Yeah.
Or,
it'd be completely
or even
different.
You couldn't even go from probably Tonga or Samoa and go to Japan and expect to get clothes.
No way. No, absolutely not. I mean, the Pacific Island genetics are completely different to Asian genetics. It's just...
And that's the thing, genetics come into it as well.
They don't, inevitably.
There are races that are bigger than others, and it's not always unhealthy.
No, that's right. It's not. And it's, I was going to go real deep on that. But I was like, I mean, like some diets affect certain cultures completely different to others.
Yeah.
You know, like if you look at a heavy carbohydrate diet in Pacific Island cultures versus an English culture, you'll have completely different results, you know, and how their body responds to that.
Yeah.
How would you encourage anyone who sees you on social media, how would you encourage them to focus on self-love and self-care rather than constantly seeking validation from others? And I guess I say that I'm not saying that you do either of those, you know, like that, but I'm just saying like there will be people in your audience that are sucked into the social media bullshit and feel like they need constant validation from others.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them to focus more on self-care and self-love than focusing on that validation? I don't know if that makes sense.
I would just unfollow everyone that makes you feel like shit.
Yeah, that's a real good.
That's how I started feeling okay about myself. I think it was after those Love Island seasons. You'd follow all the people, and then they just get so much work done, and then I just felt like real shit because they all look bloody fucking awesome.
Yeah. They've been handpicked from hundreds of thousands of applicants.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course they go.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. So I think if there's someone that you're sitting there, you're looking at their body, and I know a lot of people follow people for inspiration. I want that body, but it's never. You never really think that when you see. You see, I want to be like that, or I wish my thing was like that, or so. I guess just unfollow anyone that makes you sit there and internalize how you feel about yourself just by looking at what someone else posts.
I think it's inspiring for the first 2 times that you see them, and then after that it becomes harmful.
Yeah.
I was the same. I didn't realize it was when someone first said that to me, that we constantly see these people that we compare ourselves to.
Yeah.
I was just like, actually, it's so true. I follow so many bodybuilders and dudes over that live such crazy lifestyles over in the UK and places like that. I'm like, millions of followers, 300,000 followers, 500,000 followers, and I'm just like, they're posting all these bullshit ads for supplements that are not responsible for how they look.
I hate
at all. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, there was a point where I was like, this is harmful.
Yeah.
This is actually so harmful for me to be seeing this because even if I know better and I look at them and I go, I know the supplement doesn't make you the way you are.
Yeah.
But I still look at them and go, I'm not there. I wish my arms were that big. I wish I, looked like that in a suit, and there's so many people that I looked at like that and I was just like, this is actually harmful. So I did the same thing. There was a point where I went through, I still follow some of them, but the ones that were real superficial and the ones that were just pumping toxic shit down my throat all the time, I was just like, no, I'm not following them anymore.
And you feel so good when you unfollow.
Oh yeah.
And you just see positive things on your feed, or memes.
Yep.
I love a meme.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's better to see them.
Yeah, it is.
And someone's really nice bum that you're jealous of.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there was a guy that I follow. He recently posted a post like that, basically saying if you want to be more successful, make sure who you're following is it's almost like your friend circle. If you hang out with successful people, you're generally more likely to be successful.
Yeah.
It's like if you're hanging out with homeless people all day, you probably won't have much drive to be anything but.
Yeah.
And I think who you follow on social media is quite similar. If you follow a whole lot of toxic people and they're posting all toxic shit, you're going to feel toxic.
Yeah. It rubs off 100%.
Yeah, definitely. How can society as a whole work towards eliminating harmful beauty standards or ideals created by the social media and platforms? I think actually you made a really good point, being transparent with things like BMI, talking about your stats.
Yeah.
If you were a model on social media or on Instagram, that kind of thing, you should actually say to people, this is how tall I am. Because they're looking at themselves and they're looking at you and they're going, how do I stack up against this person? Don't hide all the things that, if we want to generally make people more comfortable in their own skin when they're looking at other people, you need to say, hey, look, I'm actually 5'2", and so I'm not as jacked as you think I am. If I stood next to you, I'd be tiny.
Yeah.
So then big dudes or tall dudes would be like, oh, okay, he's cool. I would actually look at a guy who'd said that and I'd say he's cool for saying that.
Yeah.
He's actually, because what I've noticed about myself anyway is when I own my flaws or I own my bad decisions, I take everyone's power away because they're like, he's transparent, he's cool, he's actually himself. I make no mistake about the fact that I've taken steroids, for example. You know, like guys would look at me and go, oh yeah, he claims he's natural. If I was saying to people, you know, I've never taken steroids in my life.
Yeah.
One, that would be ridiculous because I've used newspaper articles saying I went to prison for it. But like, you know, it's like, two, I would be cheating then. I would actually be doing them a disservice because they would be like, how do I get to, you know, there might be guys who are much skinnier than me or bigger than me or whatever that look at him and go, he's in good shape. I want to know how he got there naturally. Yeah. And it's like, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. There's been so many periods where I've taken them. And so be transparent about that stuff.
Oh, 100%.
Tell people, how much you weigh. Tell people what height you are. Tell people like everything so that they can compare themselves properly to you. Yeah. I think that would be a good start. Okay, so what advice do you have for individuals struggling with body image issues in the age of social media comparison?
Basically the same thing, unfollow.
Yep.
Unfollow what makes you feel like shit.
Yep.
Even like, probably a bit of subject change, but like even when me and my partner, like my ex-partner broke up, like I blocked myself from seeing his stories, seeing his posts. Like I didn't unfollow because I didn't want to be that bitch, but like
you just subtly do it.
I just remove everything that makes me feel like shit. Because you don't need anything else.
No.
You know?
I've got an interesting little experiment here. So you imagine, like everyone, if you imagine all the people that you follow for inspiration, you know, you're like, all these people are beautiful, I want to look like them. Now imagine you unfollowed all of them and you followed people that you thought were actually less attractive than you. You'd probably start feeling really good about yourself. Do you know what I mean? I know it's a superficial, horrible thing to say.
No, when I unfollowed like all of those, you know, nice bodies and shit, like I just followed other curvy girls, like other bigger girls. You know, bigger girls than me, smaller girls than me.
Yeah, which is very normal. Like that's what people actually are like.
Well,
you know,
literally.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah. I think if you were to change your whole feed to be something completely different, it would completely shape the way you felt about yourself. Because it's what you see every day. If you're and people like to see beautiful people, they're like, oh, isn't she beautiful? But it makes us feel like shit.
Yeah.
It really does.
You see it a few times, like you see it, and then after a while, it's like, oh, still looks good.
Yeah. And, imagine,
and I still look like this.
Well, imagine too being in a relationship. Say you're in a relationship with a guy and you are following so many dudes who are in such good shape, really good genes, you know, beautifully put together. Your brain is subconsciously, even if you still love your partner to bits, your brain is still subconsciously got this beauty standard of men that's just way, way up here. And you're looking at your partner and he doesn't fit that category. And the fact that you're even aware of that category means that, you know that he's not in it. And I'm not saying he might not be in it, but, you know, like, you're also kind of like, well, if I didn't look at that all day, I wouldn't be constantly reminded of that either, you know?
Yeah, like my ex, he had a different type than me and followed different accounts, and so that was like...
Were you aware of that while you're with him?
Yeah, well, so we were a bit different, like near the end of our relationship, probably why it ended. We did the open relationship because I was flying and I was away for like 6 days at a time. And
it's a tricky situation to navigate.
Needs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the girls that he got with were completely different to me. I was always going for brown tall boys. Right. Got a top.
Was he in that same type category?
Yeah, he was brown and tall.
Right.
Yeah. That was like basically.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
But so he had different types of girls.
Were they all in one category, do you think, or were they mixed as well?
No, they were all skinny, skinny, tiny girls.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Have you noticed any specific trends or movements on social media that are reshaping beauty standards in a positive way?
Honestly, no.
No, I think it would be, I guess, just bringing more awareness to diversity. It is happening.
Yeah.
It's happening, but it's, it's still not the main bulk of what we see.
Yeah.
You know, the main bulk of what we see is still the superficial bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's, I guess it's always going to sell because what's going to sell is that motivation for people to look like that.
Yeah.
And they're going to buy the bikini and then they're going to put it on and they're going to hate themselves.
Yeah.
But they've still paid for the bikini. Do you know what I mean?
And I mean, even when like, say a movie or someone does like The Little Mermaid, they had a black mermaid, the outroar, like
I know,
uproar.
I know, and I think it just challenges this traditional norm of like, hang on, she was never that, you know, which is like, horrible.
It's a fucking cartoon mermaid, like it's not that deep.
Yeah, I think for me that would be one of that'd be the only thing I've noticed really, but there's probably a lot of other things happening. I just don't. I think they just kind of get. They don't fill the main bulk of what we see because they're just not what everyone is looking at.
Yeah.
You know? Have you experienced instances of hate, jealousy, or negative comments within your social circle due to your appearance? How did you handle those situations?
Yeah. Not in like my friend circle.
No, of course not.
But like, my friends are great. But like, my ex's friends' girlfriends.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I hope they're listening, bitches. Nah, like, they were just, so there was this one girl that I had a bit of beef with, and she, why did we have beef? I can't remember why we had beef. She bent over at a party in front of me, and I jokingly said, like, I can see what you had for breakfast. And she was drunk. I was sober.
Oh, she just felt on the back foot.
She was like, this bitch. And she started like, she was probably 50 kgs, like very skinny, very tiny.
Yeah.
She was going around saying that she's going to beat me up and all this.
Wow.
Like, what? Like, I just said I could see what you had for breakfast. Humor. Like, it was a joke.
It was banter, yeah.
And so there was just this beef from there with her, and because she'd threatened to beat me up, I was like, well, I'm not having her come round to my house for drinks.
No,
like,
fair enough.
When I'm not there, because obviously I was flying lots. I was away for like 6 days at a time, and there was just this massive drama. Like one of my flatmates ended up moving out because it was like his best friend's girlfriend or something. Yeah. So like the best friend wouldn't come if the girlfriend couldn't come, and so there was this massive drama with that. And there was a wedding. One of the boys in the group got married, and I wore like a blue dress to a wedding, and the girls that I had beef with, they saved the photo of me in a blue dress, edited it, blew me up to make me look like a blueberry.
Right.
And it's like, because I was wearing a blue dress, you decided to blow me up like a blueberry and make fun of me.
That's all they could do.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's rude as fuck.
And it's just like if you actually had something to hate about me, why wouldn't you stay on topic as opposed to coming up with all these other things that just shows that you're in the wrong?
Yep. What a disgusting group of people. Oh, really? Like
absolute foul.
Yeah. Like the girl initially who had the problem with you for making that kind of joke, the fact that she was hypersensitive to things like that shows her mental state.
Yeah.
Like her emotional state is fucking fragile. Oh, and she probably had underlying issues with you before that. And they generally don't work on themselves, you know? Yeah.
And I mean, that whole friend group after that, like, I don't have really friends with any of them.
Good.
I mean, there's a couple people that I was friends with before, but I just remember one friend, not friend now, but I just was like, you're toxic. Yeah. So she's the first person I've ever turned around and said, like, you're toxic. I cannot be around you.
Yeah.
And oh my God, life's so much better.
Yeah. It's hard.
Without her, like one person, it's crazy how much one person can make a huge impact on like your mental state overall.
It's hard too, because sometimes there's a bit of self-doubt in there. Like you'd be like, who am I to say she is? Maybe I am. You know what I mean? Like there's this bit like, is it me or is it her? I don't know. And then it takes a lot of time.
It's
and
then me.
No, but it's good. It's good that like, you know, it's a balanced thing for, you know, if you're a balanced person, you'd think, I wonder if I'm at fault here. You know, for the people that I am not. They're normally the toxic ones, like the one that, I don't take you as that kind of person. I think
I'm taking the piss.
Yeah, I think you would think that way. Sorry.
It's like just after I say it.
No. Toxic.
Okay, shit. Yeah.
But no, like, and it's really hard too when it's the group too, because you're the odd one out. You know, when it's like a group of 5 or 6 or 7 and they're all siding with the toxic person, you're kind of like, fuck, am I in the wrong here? I shouldn't be. And it's so hard because everyone's turning on you. That's a really transformative time in anyone's life if that happens, you know.
Yeah, and I fucking went through it with that group.
Yeah.
Went through it.
Yeah.
horrible people.
But you've learned so much from it, and you know how to spot those red flags now, and friends and things like that.
Everything's a lesson.
Yeah, at some point you'll see someone, you know, it might be 10 years from now, you'll see someone your age now going through that, and you'll just be like, "Oh, hun,
like it's nothing."
Yeah, I know what I know what you're going through, and it's really like you'll be fine.
It gets
worse. You'll be fine. It gets worse. Like, it gets so much worse. Yeah. What advice would you give to others who face criticism or judgment from their peers based on their looks?
Oh, from their peers.
It's a bit different because you can't really block
in
that situation.
So, define peers. Is that like mates?
I guess it's, I mean, I would say if someone's your friend and they're critical of you, how you look, they're not your friend anymore.
True. Yeah, I was going to say.
But I guess it could be anyone. Yeah, their peers could be workmates. It could be, friends of friends, acquaintances, that kind of stuff. Or just say offline. So
I think a personal experience is don't put yourself down as well in front of people because it opens up for other people to make comments about you as well.
Yep, that's right.
Like I remember when I was flying, there was a guy that I flew with and he made comments about my weight and they were just horrible. Like he English wasn't his first language, so everything he said was kind of blunt anyway.
Be a cultural disconnect too, probably.
Yeah. And then the weight comments was just like, bruh.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah.
I was 18 as well when I started flying.
Yeah, right.
I was fresh out of school.
You're just a baby. Really?
Just a babe, yeah. So obviously didn't have the confidence I have now.
Or the same resilience to deal with that kind of stuff.
And to be able to be like, don't fucking say that to me. Like I was just like, I was like, haha, laughing off the joke. Like,
that's sad.
Just make jokes about my weight. But I ended up talking to a manager about it and taking it further because he kept bullying after that.
Yeah.
Big drama happened from that, but that's all good.
Right. But do you think he meant it in a negative way? It wasn't a flirtatious giving you shit? Because I know guys can be like that.
He was a gay boy.
Oh, I see.
No,
no. Fucking what a bitch.
Wasn't a flirt. Yeah, he's married. Yeah, so it wasn't a flirty thing.
I know there's a lot of and I don't want to generalise here, but there is a lot of gay men who feel like they can talk to a woman however they like because they are like an alpha female, kind of like they think they're an alpha female. Like
I think there's definitely a lot of mean gays out there.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
A lot of mean gays.
Yeah, I know a few of them.
That think that because, they're gay, that they can say what they want.
Yep.
It's controversial, but it also makes me think of like Pacific Islanders when they say the N-word. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, because it's actually not their culture.
No.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I think there's no excuse for being insensitive. It doesn't matter whether you are in a minority or it doesn't matter whether you're outside of the norm. It doesn't mean that you can point out someone else's flaws or something that will give someone shit in an insensitive way just because you don't feel like you necessarily fit in with the norm either.
Exactly.
Like that just makes you a rude person.
Yeah, exactly. I can't go and say homophobic comments even though I like girls.
No, that's right.
I'm not going to go and say the F word, F slur.
No. It would be, it's like, just because I was skinny, I can't just go to say to a guy, look at you chicken legs.
Yeah.
It's like that would be rude for me to do that.
Yeah, just being a nice person.
Yeah, that's right.
Free. Like my mum wasn't that bad, but I know that some parents can be quite rough as well on kids.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, mum, she didn't make like rude comments, but she'd be like, "Oh, got to watch what you eat," it wasn't like you're getting fatter.
No, yeah.
I came from a bigger, like my mum was a bigger,
right.
She was bigger, but she's not big now.
And I guess that could be just trying to deliver life lessons. It may not come from a bad place.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah. It's just delivery.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm hyper aware of what I say to Flynn, my son. Sometimes I say shit and then I'm like, oh, fuck, that was rude. I really should. I don't want to give him a complex about that or whatever it is,
Right, yeah.
But you also don't want to tiptoe around them either.
It's rough because you still want to be able to have a laugh.
Yeah.
You don't want to, teach them bad things.
Yeah. And every year they get older, they're capable of understanding more too. And you're kind of like, okay, you're saying new things and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Or maybe I'll deliver that better next time. Have you ever been jealous of someone else's appearance within your social circle? And how did you handle those feelings?
I wouldn't say jealous. I mean, all of my friends, not all, most of my friends are hot and skinny.
Right.
I don't know why. That's just, I mean, I do have a couple curvy friends now.
Yeah.
Like my longer friends are definitely more on the skinny and hot side.
Yeah.
But like I haven't really felt jealousy of them, but I've definitely felt envious of the way they're treated as opposed to how I'm treated as a larger girl. Whether that's going out to town and, you know, a guy will come up to the group and talk to every single girl except for me.
Right.
Or they'll just come and talk to just my one friend that I'm with and just not even say hi, not engage, just like kind of cut me out of the convo. Like, why don't go out to town anymore?
Right. Yeah.
Because so that and it's not like I want attention, but it's like
you still want to be treated equally.
If everyone's getting chatted to, like, just say hi.
Yeah.
How are you going?
Yeah.
Like, I'm still a human.
Yeah. I think that's a fucking shit strategy on their behalf.
Yeah.
As a male.
Yeah. And I mean, I think I shared a quote on my story the other day, and it's like, respecting women you're attracted to isn't respecting women. Like,
no.
Just respecting women that you're attracted to isn't respecting women.
Yeah, I agree.
Because everyone deserves respect.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's really tough. I mean, there's a whole lot of dynamics to that. I think that would suck. Like, you wouldn't want to go out if you were waiting for that kind of situation to happen. And if it happened regularly, you'd be like, here we go again.
Yeah,
you know,
every time. Yeah.
And I think that there's a few elements to that. One is that most guys that go out are looking to pick up, and so they're just going to zero in on the thing that they think is hottest in the bar, which is a superficial mentality anyway.
I mean, everyone does it.
It's actually not the way to pick up, though.
No.
Like, the best way to pick up is actually to go out and have fun and enjoy yourself and be friendly and get to know people. And I always said to myself, when I was younger, one theory I had as a male was that if I went out and there was a gay guy within a group of girls, I had to get him to like me.
Yeah.
Because if he liked me, he liked me, all the girls would accept me, and that basically they would be like, okay, he's all right. Basically, if the gay guy doesn't like you, the whole group will turn on you, and you know what I mean? It's your in, because they're kind of, like I said before, they're the alpha female. The gay guy might be, depending on what they're like. Yeah, they got the opinion, and because they're a male, the other woman will trust her. Yeah. Sometimes it could be the same if there is a bigger girl in the group. Yeah. If you show her respect, even if you're not into her, and I'm not saying that, you know, like, it's actually really important because I'm sure the group would fucking turn on guys if they don't. And you know what I mean? It's not a good strategy.
My friends notice. They're like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, that's right. And they would. That's what I was going to ask you too. Do your friends pick up on that vibe? They would.
My friends now do. My friends back then didn't.
That's good friends. Yeah. That's how you know they're good. Yeah. Because they have your back.
Like that girl I mentioned earlier that I cut off because she was toxic. We went to Bali together. That's pretty. She's going to know. It's not many girls I've gone to Bali with. Right. But like, we would go out to the bars and, you know, guys would come up to her. She's very skinny. She's probably size 4 to 6. Very, very skinny.
Right. Yep. Little.
Very little. And guys would come up to her and she just would keep talking to them, not introduce. Like, she wouldn't make an effort. Yeah. And I remember the one time there was a guy that was interested in me who I was dancing with. She was like, oh, I've got a headache, let's go. And like, pulled me away, and I was like, you fucking bitch.
These are
the second I pull, you've pulled 50 boys all night. The one time I get a bit of attention, you'll want to fuck off. And it's like,
so it's a good, it's a great, she just showed her character 100%. And that's that you don't want people like that in your life. Just like the guys that approach the group and are rude to you.
That's like a very big red flag. Yeah. If you're not respectful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it says a lot about the types of guys that are out to pull in that kind of situation. And do you know what? Knowing men the way that I do, there'd be a lot of guys that are into you that are just too afraid to do it in front of their friends too, because they're worried about how their friends will treat them.
Yeah, 100%. Which is look, with the fat girl, 100% they do. Every guy that I've wanted, pulled. Yeah. Like, you know, like, it's not like I can't pull. It's literally they're obviously embarrassed. You know,
it's tough for women to approach men, and I've had this conversation with a few different people, and it'll come up a lot on this podcast. I think it's really tough for women to approach men because there's always that risk of feeling desperate, you know, and it should be normalized, it should be fine, but it also shifts the balance of power a little bit, and the guy might lose respect for the woman subconsciously just because it was too easy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Women should generally my opinion is women should generally make men work for it a little bit, but they should indicate they're interested somehow. Yeah. So like, and I said that in the last podcast too, you know, even if it's just a little look over the shoulder or a smile from the other side of the bar or whatever, that should happen. Yeah. So the male can go, okay, I'll approach her.
See, I'm probably just sitting there looking angry as fuck.
Right, That might be one of the other reasons. Yeah.
I'm probably looking more angry because they haven't acknowledged me. I'm like,
they're like, I'm not going to approach her. She's probably going to
probably. Fucking dragon lady.
Yeah.
So fair.
How can we encourage more open conversations about beauty image or about body image and beauty standards within our social circles to promote understanding and support?
Do you have any ideas on that? Coverage?
How could we encourage it? I guess not tiptoeing around it, making sure that it's tough because you don't want to just come out with it, but when things happen, addressing them. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So if something was to happen in a bar, say a time where you did feel shit about something that had happened or someone made a remark or something like that, I think addressing it in a way it's, hey guys, can I just have a second? I just want to talk to you. And it could be the next day or whatever. Do you guys remember what happened to the bar, with that guy that said that thing?
Yeah.
And they would be like, oh yeah, that was really rude. You go, I just really appreciated the fact that you guys stood up for me, or that kind of thing. Let people know there's got to be positive reinforcement there. I'm glad that we actually can talk about this stuff. To me, it would be reinforcing that the conversations are good.
Yeah,
making sure that people that support you feel that it does have an effect. And that would happen with anyone. I mean, I'm sure if there's other curvy girls around, you have their back hard out, and they feel supported. Yeah. And I'm sure they support you.
Even like not curvy, because skinny girls get hate too.
Yeah, I know.
Probably more than fat girls.
Yeah.
Like my friend Cassidy, shout out, she gets fat shamed all the time, and she's like a size 8.
Really? Yeah. And it's a go-to. It's honestly, it's a go-to for a lot of people.
And it's not even like true.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah, physically shaming anyone. I mean, even when people were calling the Prime Minister a horse and things, to me, it's just like, actually, why don't you talk about her ability to lead the country rather than just her appearance?
And it's just irrelevant.
Yeah, it is. It's so irrelevant.
If you don't like her as a leader, then you can post what you want.
Maybe you'll get some discussion.
Post about what you don't like about why you don't like her as Prime Minister.
Yeah, that's right.
What don't you agree with? And but don't pull out shit that's irrelevant, because it just defeats your whole point. And you just look like a fuckwit. Yeah,
that's right. I think like focusing on someone's appearance when you don't like what they've done is the lowest form of anything. Yeah. It actually removes you from the discussion. It makes your opinion pointless.
Yeah. It's like you've just fucked your whole argument. Because you've just brought in something that has nothing to do, and it's because people scramble. They try and pick up anything to back up the argument.
I know. And they all get behind each other too, like all those type of people. You imagine if you were actually standing up on live TV in the States in front of millions of people, and you're in a debate chamber and you said, but she looks like a fucking horse. It's like if you did it, everyone would be like, what?
Well, that's irrelevant.
Yeah, that's irrelevant. Yeah.
10 points gone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What impact has surrounding yourself with body positive and supportive individuals had on your own self-image and mental well-being?
I think when I unfollowed all the accounts that made me feel like shit, I felt great.
Yep.
Made friends when I did follow a bunch of curvy girls. They follow back, and that's how I've made a lot of my friends. I think. Oh, what was the question again?
Yeah, how has it affected your own self-image and mental well-being? Just being around positive people.
Yeah, just being around positive people with the same mindset, but also they've been through similar shit. They get hate as well, and so we can even my friend Tessa, she's a curvy girl too. We often talk about the same thing. When we're in the club with our skinny friends, it's always the skinny girls that get talked to.
Yeah.
So being able to relate as well to other people. Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 100%.
That's good. How do you handle moments of self-doubt or negative self-talk that arise in social settings?
I don't really. I definitely internalize everything, and probably ruin my night out a lot of the time because you just get in your head, and I'm going through therapy at the moment as well, which was great. But and she's my therapist is the one that told me that you internalize things, and now that I'm aware of it, I can help myself get out of that, which is good. But back when I didn't, I would just stress out the whole night and then go home for a cone.
It's amazing how just learning something small like that about a way that we think can change how you process things and how you long-term cope with them.
Yeah. It was a massive help, like, because I'd done therapy before, but she just was not relatable at all. But I've tried it again.
Yeah.
And it's just been massive help.
Yeah.
Just little things like breathing techniques.
Yeah. Yeah.
When she mentioned it, I was like, fuck, I'm never going to try that.
Yeah.
Like, I do it 3 times a day now. And I just like, I cry a lot less. Because I'm a massive crier. Like,
right. Yeah.
I'll cry. I cry listening to the new Billie Eilish song from the Barbie movie, like every time it plays, because it reminds me of the scene from the Barbie movie that made me cry. Yeah. But like, I'm I cry a lot less now, which is good.
Right.
But yeah.
When I was in a really emotionally compromised place with my last serious relationship, I was on the verge of tears quite often at quite random shit.
Yeah.
Movies. Some movies where there was scenes where like a father and son were going through a moment where he was like being separated or something like that, or even just when I'd hear a song that really like I really liked, or the lyrics reminded me of a time in my life where I was really proud of myself or things like that, I would be like choked up, and I'd be going for walks, like I'd be out in the middle of nowhere and be like, why the fuck do I feel this way? But it's normally when I'm dealing with a lot of heavy shit and I'm not really processing it.
Yeah.
And self-talk's massive, like huge. Like I used to talk myself out of, I used to ruin my own night so I would go to town, I would get a certain level of drunk, I would feel like everything was going really good, I would be able to build rapport at this point, and then I'd get past this point and I'd start to feel like the girl I was with was losing interest in me or something like that, or I'd said the wrong thing, and then it would just be this depressive dive where the night would just get progressively worse, and I swear like you could see it, this like negative self-talk, and I was like, that's when the ex would get texted or something like that, because you're just like, you're failing.
The you up ex.
Yeah. Or the old multi would go out, like, and
multi.
My mate referred to it as that once. I loved it. He's like, right, it's 3 a.m. on the couch, and he's like, right, time to send out the old multi.
You don't want to fucking make a group chat though.
Do you know what I did?
I accidentally did that.
I did it. I sent a nude, not a nude, but a thirst trap when I first got Snapchat, and I had this girl message me, and she's like, you created a group, eh? And I was like, no, she's like, we can all see each other. And I was like, fuck. And then I leave the group, but then it's still there. They can all see each other.
And they're all like,
I know. I just created a girls chat, basically.
That's probably what started the Facebook pages.
They're probably friends now, those girls.
It's probably those girls are the ones that commented.
Yeah.
I posted a nude on Facebook once by accident.
Did you?
Once. It was November last year. It wasn't that long ago. But it was like...
Full nude?
Just nipples, but it was like definitely thirst trap. Like, I had a bra and undies on, but the nips were out. And I put my phone on. I was in Auckland. I just arrived in Auckland for like a holiday, if you can call a trip to Auckland a holiday.
Yeah.
But I was on my phone. I put it in my pocket and was at the train station, and train stations are hectic. And my phone just keeps vibrating, and I was waiting for my friends that were in the Starbucks. And I was like, okay, I'll pull my phone out. So I obviously didn't lock it when I put it in my pocket. And it posted a nude. Oh, really? It was a hot nude, though, thank God. But I didn't realise.
You don't want to be checking a mole or something?
No.
Something like
I know. Yeah, that would be the fucking worst.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that posted on my Facebook story. And, like, I'm friends with teachers from primary school. Like, I'm friends with family. By the time that I saw it on my story, I only realised that I'd posted it because...
Stories are more likely to be seen too, really.
Yeah, and I only realised because a guy that I was on a top deck with, like, just before COVID, replied to my story saying yummy, and I was like, the fuck did I post? I was like, I've never posted a Facebook story before. What the fuck? And I checked and I was like, oh my God, 27 people had viewed it.
Yeah, right.
I just deleted it straight away. I was like, why didn't I not check who fucking viewed it?
And there's still going to be people that are like, this photo is no longer available. That'll still see the preview and like, all that stuff.
Yeah, they got, and so and at first I was obviously stressing out, deleted it, and was having an anxiety attack in Britomart. And I was just like, how do I fucking like... How do I get through this?
Yeah.
So I originally posted like a status saying, if you get a link from me, I've been hacked. The old hack route.
Yeah, true.
And then I was like, that's such bullshit. So I deleted the status and I was like, I'm just going to own it.
Just own it, yeah.
So I did like a story. I think I did a story time on Instagram and was like, everyone laugh at me. So, and people replied to it and they're like, oh, I saw that. I'm like, why didn't you fucking tell me? And they're like, oh, I thought you meant to post it.
Yeah. Well, it's good.
Like, fair, but there were nipples, so I'm not sure how you thought I meant to share that.
Yeah. I know I've seen lots of photos get posted where they came up and I'm like, are you fucking serious? I click in and it's like, this photo's no longer available. I'm like, oh, they realised.
Should have screenshotted.
One girl I know, she posted the next day and she's like, well, I just didn't realise it was a whole 24 hours that my nip was out. So she posted like a when you post a wee gallery, it's like, 10 images or something like that, but she didn't actually check each one. And one of them was just, it was only, you could only see like a centimetre below the nip.
Oh, right.
But it was, it was
the
enough.
full nip.
It was full nip.
Oh, no, I was traumatised, because we were already in a rush as well to try and get the train, and then got on the train, and then we were supposed to go back and start ready to go out, and I just was like, I was not there.
No, you wouldn't be. Yeah.
They were talking to me, and I was like,
it'd be a few hours before they came right out.
Yeah, I was on a different planet by the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, I can't go out. I can't show my face.
City, you're all good.
Yeah. No, we ended up going to a bottomless brunch that was like dinner.
Right.
So that was all good.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's what you need in that moment. You definitely don't want to be sitting at home internalising that.
Oh, I needed to knock them back after that.
Fair enough. How do you differentiate between genuine supportive friendships and fake or shallow friendships?
Yeah, I think people that are like there when you need it, and people that ask how my mum's going.
Yeah, that's right.
People that ask how your family is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The people who actually care.
Yeah, not just like, how's your day? Oh, like small talk, like you actually care and ask deep questions and have deep conversations. And
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm the same. I've got a really good group of friends now. They're all very separate from each other, like different groups, a lot of them, but they genuinely care. And I know they genuinely care because they ask me about the real stuff that's going on and all in different ways. How do you navigate dating and relationships while dealing with any potential fear of rejection?
Personally, never been rejected.
Yep.
It's hard.
Do you still have, is there a fear there sometimes?
I mean, there's always like if I match on Tinder, I'm like, did they realise I'm fat?
Right, yeah.
I obviously have photos, but you're always like, have they looked at all of them? Like, you look past just like the ones with my face, you just get, even it, like sometimes, if you're talking to a guy and like you might get flirty or something, there's like always a part of me that wants to be like, oh, do you mind a curvy girl? Like, it's weird. Like you almost want to give them a warning before you even meet. They can see, Like,
I know the feeling because I feel it with my criminal history.
Yeah.
So I always am like, I want to disclose that I've been to prison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's often a deal breaker. And like sometimes I'm like, this person's getting to know me. I feel like I'm lying to them because they don't know yet.
So what do you do now?
I tell them.
Yeah.
But I wait for it to be kind of relevant.
Right.
So I would wait until maybe whether it's...
like, oh, speaking of prison.
It might be on the first date, but or it might be not. I would probably wait... Nowadays, if I was doing that kind of thing and dating like that, I would probably wait until they pushed to see me more.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like I would be... because I'm really friendly and receptive and I'll go on dates and stuff and I'll say thanks and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes I won't necessarily push for the next one.
Right.
And if the person is like, oh, fuck him, because I don't, then that shows me that they're not patient. Right. You know what I mean? Like patience is attractive to me.
Yeah.
So I would wait until maybe second, third date, we'd start talking about something that was relevant and I'd see... Often if it came up and they were judgmental of it, I would then say, well, actually I've been, or if I would tell them a story about a time and I'd be like, because there was a period of my life where I got locked up for a year or something like that, and then they'd be like, what? Oh my God, I didn't know that. And then I'd see them, I'd see everything like whirring and ticking over and they'd be like, fuck, he's in prison. Okay, do I care? No, I don't. Actually, I don't. He seems fine.
How do I react? How do I react?
And then often they're like, oh wow, what was that like? Oh my God. Because then they're like, he actually seems like a nice guy and he can talk about it. And is he willing to talk about it? Oh my God, he is. Tell me what it was like. Because this girl's probably watching prison shows anyway, and it's like, oh my God, I've actually got someone in front of me who's been.
Similar thing, like when me and my ex went to Bali and we got a driver just from like the Bali version of Uber, and he was driving us around and we drove past the prison. He's like, oh, I've been there, and me and my ex were like, you want to expand on that?
Yeah,
and he's like, oh yeah, I killed a man, and me and him are like,
wow,
okay, cool, okay, like keep going, And he was like, oh, like a drunk guy came at me like with a knife, and I defended myself and got him with the knife, and he died. So, but in Bali, even if it's like a
self-defense or whatever, you still
have to serve a year,
right? Okay,
just for like prayer and
of
all
course.
That stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we ended up using him for the driver the whole trip.
Right,
Because we're like, I trust him.
Yeah,
this man can fight. Like he fought off a guy with a knife with his bare hands.
Yeah,
killed him. Like I trust this man.
Yeah, I met murderers. I met murderers and things in there that were they were good people.
Yeah,
and they just came from shit circumstances.
Yeah,
one guy's best mate raped his wife. And then he ended up the wife ended up inviting him round for this guy's birthday, and he just had enough, and then the guy followed him, said something to him, and he stabbed him with a boning knife. But like, that's not the right way to deal with it, obviously, but his wife had been raped, and so like I can understand why he was feeling heavy emotions in that moment, and it just takes one thing, and this guy was a skinhead, and he had a really rough upbringing and stuff, so
it's not good with like decision making, all of that.
Okay, so last question. What message do you want to put out there with your social media presence? So what is it, if you were to kind of sum up, what is your social media to you? Is it a reflection? Are you just putting out your authentic self? Are you entertaining? Are you educating? Or is there any defined purpose behind it?
Probably a bit of everything, Like everything you just said, like it's a bit of that. But yeah, it's mostly just what I think about at the time.
That's what it should be.
Usually when I'm posting a lot of stories, it's a few cones deep. And I'm like, let's
You're on
go.
A roll.
I'm on a roll. I'm scrolling like, hey, I'm finding everything funny. Probably not that funny once it's on my story.
Trust me, I do it. I've done 4 or 5, and I'm like, hang on, I come back the next day. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Definitely have post-posting regret. But yeah, I just post what I want, and it's usually a reflection of my mental state at the time.
Right.
And if I'm not posting anything on my stories, I'm usually busy. It's not like I'm happy or sad or anything. It's just that I'm probably actually working.
Got real life to do.
Something doing. But usually it's a few cones deep and just see what comes out.
Cool. No, that's perfect. On that topic of work, we're on to just the final 5 questions for you. So if someone wanted to get organised to get some work through you or do anything through work, can they do that? Do you get a bonus or commission for that, or are you just there to work?
I get commission once I hit 20k.
Right. Is there any way that they can do that?
Not yet, no. No, not in a new branch.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course you're moving, aren't you? Yeah.
Oh, and I'm moving as well. So, I mean, hit me up if you need work. I've got people.
Are you doing that over in Australia as well, or?
No. Fuck that. I still have friends in the industry, so I'm happy to help out if people do need to send them to the right people.
Okay, sweet. What do you think the world will look like in 5 years?
Ooh. The world. A lot more natural disasters. The global warming happening.
Yeah, I agree.
It's hard to say because at the moment, like, we went through a very progressive kind of area, like stage, but I feel like everything's kind of starting to go backward. In the States at least, like it seems like a lot of like progressive laws are just being reversed, and so it's a hard time to kind of say.
I think it's going into a bit of chaos, like everything's happening at once.
And just the effects of what COVID had on the world as well, so we'll be seeing a lot of that.
If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Have a side hustle. I've been made redundant twice in 2 years.
Right,
very important to have a side hustle. One that it's not a trend that you can keep selling over time. Like, I mean, I started doing lash extensions for a bit, and no one fucking wears lash extensions anymore, do they?
Right, do they not?
Nah, like there was a massive stage. Some people still do, but I used to wear them all the time, but I don't now. Have a side hustle that you can have for a while. I guess.
That's really good advice. I wish I'd done that. So if you could be remembered for one thing, what would that be?
Remembered. Oh, so there's like the air announcer, like that's joking. Then there's...
Let's get both.
Okay. Well, first for the joking, the booty.
Yeah.
I'd love the booty to remember.
I'm sure it will be.
Better fucking be. Yeah. But I think just for kindness, maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Not the resting bitch face.
Not the resting. I mean, that's probably what I will get remembered for. But like, yeah, I definitely think just kindness and.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for kindness.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most important thing.
It is. Yeah, I agree. I think if you're kind to people in this world, you will be remembered. You know.
And people hopefully kind to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, cool. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go? No?
No, I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank you for coming on. This has been great. And I really appreciate your openness and honesty and vulnerability talking about it.
Thank you for having me.
It's okay.
It's fun. Cool. Thanks.